Hey everyone, welcome to tonight's recap of Top Chef Masters.
Wow, brand new show on Bravo. I love the concept of having actual working chefs on as opposed to, you know, like...
Well, the other chefs work.
Well, yeah, but I mean, these guys are renowned. Alright, so Choi is the host, in for Padma. I'm pretty sure Padma is going to be in a guest role during the season, along with Tom Colicchio.
Yay.
So they're in LA, if you didn't know, California. The four chefs this week: Michael Schlow from Boston. He's playing for the Cam Neely Foundation.
Hubert Keller from San Francisco, playing for Make-A-Wish Foundation.
He's French, you know. Christopher Lee from New York, playing for Autism Speaks.
And Tim Love from Fort Worth, Texas, playing for March of Dimes.
Right, so the Quickfire Challenge. They're going to take every week a favorite of the Top Chef Quickfire Challenges and make it a little bit more difficult for the masters.
Yep.
So this week it was a dessert.
The dreaded dessert.
Yeah, nobody likes that because they're not pastry chefs.
So they had 60 minutes to create a creative and delicious dessert.
For four tough-ass Girl Scouts. And they're going to get 1 to 5 stars from the judges, which are the 4 Girl Scouts. And they have 60 minutes to do it. The original had 90 minutes, but since they're masters, 60. So Michael was up first. A big plate of chocolate that did not happen.
He had like 5 things planned that he was going to make, and like none of them worked.
Yeah, his ice cream didn't freeze, his cake didn't cook, his peanut butter and chocolate candies that he made, they were all falling apart.
Yeah.
It was like a big plate of chocolate crap.
So he got 2.5 stars.
Right. Tim, strawberries 3 ways.
Milkshake.
Chocolate covered.
And he called it chicken fried. That sounds
They
really
didn't
good.
like it. Yeah, I don't know. 3.5 for him. You know, an extra star just because he used strawberries. Who doesn't like strawberries? Hubert. I've heard it both ways tonight. I've heard him actually say Hubert, and like the other people say like Hubert. All right, chocolate mousse swan, cream mouse,
Whipped cream.
Yeah, there was something else going on the plate. It was like a kid's freaking playground wonderland. Awesome. He knows what kids like. 5 stars, Hubert. All right, Christopher Lee, French toast cubes, bananas, some fluff cream. Not bad.
3.5.
Yeah. So these scores are going to be added to the Elimination Challenge scores, and only one chef is going to go on to the Masters round from this round.
The champion round.
Right.
So the Elimination Challenge this week, the chefs have to go back to college.
I love this challenge. I love it because a lot of the times I watch shows like this and I just don't have the equipment that real, you know, restaurants have.
Do you live in a dorm room?
Sometimes it feels like a dorm room.
Well, anyway, the judges are the judges and students from the college.
So they're going to have to cook a 3-course meal using a toaster, a hot plate, and a microwave. And they're going to have $150 to shop and 45 minutes to do it at Whole Foods. Then 2 hours to prep and cook once they get to the venue.
The next day.
Right. So Hubert had some trouble with the shopping because he usually just phones it in. So somebody took his cart and he didn't know where things were.
Store? Yeah.
What is this thing with wheels?
So the next day, after shopping,
they get to the kitchen. Tim wasn't so happy.
Not a good day for Tim. He realized that he put all of his stuff in the freezer overnight.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been so bad, but, you know, for the meat and everything, but the vegetables turn to mush after you freeze them and they thaw out. So
he didn't know it was the freezer.
Does he work in a restaurant? All right, so the big surprise in this episode is they are actually going to a dorm room to cook the food.
Yep.
That was pretty crazy. Some of those dorm rooms were kind of messy.
They were pretty good size, though.
They were good size. I guess they were singles. There was no sink in there, though. So that's kind of difficult. So a little fun fact, they were showing some pictures of Hubert in his second chosen profession, which would have been to be a DJ.
It was pretty funny.
It's a pretty rocking time, isn't it? All right, so like we said, the judges are college kids, and Jay Rayner, Gael Greene, and James Oseland.
Yep.
So pretty lively crew there. The microwave seemed to be a little bit of a problem for the chefs because they don't really use them.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like a bummer. Because, I mean, that really knocks out one appliance right there. It's down to toaster and hot plate. Yeah. So we're going to say what they did individually, and then we'll just say what the critique was. So Michael, he started out with a salmon crudo, a cabbage soup with bacon, and pork alapicius.
Tim made scallop carpaccio, squash and corn pozole, and skirt steak with braised kale.
Right. Hubert made his Scottish salmon, carrot, and pea soup with cinnamon croutons and a mac and cheese with prawns in the shower.
TMI, TMI.
Yes.
All right, Christopher made red snapper ceviche, creamy risotto, and pan-roasted pork chop.
Let's go right to the critics table. Hubert up first. The macaroni and cheese. Oh my God, you couldn't have done any better for college kids or anyone. That's one of my favorite things to make at home, and I really want to try his version with the shrimp. It looked really good.
Yeah.
The prawns, actually.
The salmon, the judges were saying that was like the best dish of the night.
That was like restaurant quality, and he made it in a dorm room. I don't even think I could make that in my real kitchen.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But on the downside, the judges were split on his sweet soup.
Yeah, they didn't really like the cinnamon. Two of them didn't like the cinnamon, and Gael Greene liked the cinnamon.
She counts as two.
I know. Well, with the hat and all. Watch, mark my words, she'll never show up on the show without a hat. It's like Joe Dirte. Alright, so Michael. His pork was overcooked. This guy was having nothing but troubles.
Yeah.
I think, he couldn't sear it, so he had to sear it twice, so that made it overcook. His soup was great, though. Mm-hmm. Everybody enjoyed the soup. Tim, with his mushy vegetables, he really had to think on his feet, so he pulled this one out of his butt, a pozole, or a pozole.
It was a hit.
Yeah, it was like, they were like, this is great for like sitting around watching football, or, you know, it was a good thing. Mm-hmm. So they gave him extra points because he, you know, he thought that up on the fly.
But the steak was salty.
I think the kale, or was it kale? Yeah, the kale was a bad choice, I think, because it was a little bit bitter. I don't think it was a big hit among the college crowd.
No.
Chris, the risotto was delicious. That too is hard to make in a real kitchen and get it right, and to cook risotto on a hot plate and time it so that it's ready to be served and like not mush is really difficult. Mm-hmm. And his pork was excellent, too. I think it was in his choice of cut with the bone, you know, so that it could sit around for a while and not get too dry. So, the scores coming in at 13.5 combined was Michael. So, he's out.
Yeah, with 14.5, Tim.
He's out, too. So, it came down to Hubert and Chris. So, Chris came in with a 19, but Hubert edged him out with a 20.5.
Wow.
I knew Hubert was going to win,
I know.
You know, from the beginning. I mean, the guy was just freaking amazing.
So he moves on to the champion round, and the Make-A-Wish Foundation gets, $10,000.
And all of the other charities get a donation also, so everybody's pretty much a winner. So I cannot wait for the rest of the season, because this looks like it's going to be a pretty decent show.
Yep.
And I think I might even like this better than the original Top Chef.
What?
I said it.
I can't decide.
All right, so we'll see you next week. Till then, much love.